And so I went to the house to make notification. And as I pulled up and got out of my patrol car, I could see a huge graduation tent set up in the yard. And everything was out for the celebration of this young man's graduation. And as I walked up the door, I thought how horrible this news was going to be to anyone, but in particular on this graduation day. And when I knocked on the door and the mother and father met me in their living room, they knew that it was bad news.
When Mike Milstead walked in the door, along with the deputy and the chaplain and stuff, and Ginny had walked out of the bedroom and she was sitting on the couch, and he said that we had lost Dusty last night. And she's just like, no, that can't be, that's not right. There's still doubts in your mind at that point where it was like just a few minutes into the conversation, it's like, no, it can't be true.
It's horrible. It doesn't, when you have to go knock on the door, it's not something that's instantaneous. It's something that you're driving down a road knowing that you're going to wake a mother and father or family and tell them their son or daughter will never come home again. And it tears at you even when you're on your way to do it.
I remember rehearsing in the car what I'm going to say. We're trained not to sugarcoat it, not to say they've passed or they've gone to a better place, to just flat out say, your loved ones died, and this is what happened, and this is what I know.
There's a whole kind of a checklist that's going on in my mind. Make sure that you're direct with them. Don't try to sugarcoat it that, that there's a chance or anything like that. And it's just basically to deliver a message solid, continue to give that message, but also immediately be there for support.
You have to stay professional, even though, you might want to relate with them. And we also want to be sensitive, and so they know that, you might have been the last person that their child spoke to.
Yeah, and of course you have to prepare yourself for that emotional challenge of delivering that message. It's not an easy thing to do. It's one of the most difficult things we have to do.
If you go to note a death notification on a teen involved in an accident, you know it was preventable. You know there will be people blaming themselves. You know there will be heartbreak. You know there will be broken heart among their classmates, among their teachers, among their friends, among their families and their grandparents and the parents, and their brothers and sisters, and it was all preventable.
That's why parents need to be responsible, talk with their kids, let them know about drinking and driving, and tell them that that's what you don't do. And they're the role model, the parents are, and that's every parent's job, is to teach your kid why they're growing up on what's right and what's wrong.
When there's more adults using alcohol, we have more kids using it. When there's more adults abusing it, there's more kids abusing it, because kids follow our lead. And when kids see their parents and their uncles or their brothers doing something, that's the path they tend to follow.
Even for law enforcement, we worry about our kids maybe even more so than others, because we've seen the devastation of this time and time again. And I've had the conversations with all three of my children. Still have the one in the home, and prom's coming up April, and I'm going to have that conversation again.
It seems to revolve around the major high school events, the proms, the graduations. Some people seem to think that the graduation parties, for instance, are a rite of passage. In reality, they're a big danger.
People believe that it's okay to have alcohol served at their seniors' graduation party because they're going to take the keys. They're going to watch the kids. The past history in our state has proved that teenagers under the influence of alcohol can be very unpredictable, and we've had deadly consequences to prove that.
My parents always knew what I was doing. If I wanted to go spend a night at a friend's house, nope, my friends had to come to my house. I think as a parent, you need to be aware, even if you have to contact the other parent, you know, if your child's at a friend's house, something like that, you know, make sure that your child's safe.
Staying involved in a kid's life sometimes isn't easy. Sometimes it's not popular, but it's being a parent. And in today's society, it's an absolute necessity.
You have to prepare for any question that's going to be asked. One of the questions my son said, my oldest son asked me, did you drink and drive when you were a kid? Hey, you know what, I did it and it wasn't right. There's a lot of resources out there. There are so many other conversations. Talk to your child and just Google it and you'll come up with a number of references, resources, and look at that and create your message to your child.
The kids that I see that struggle with drugs and alcohol the most are the ones who are struggling in school. So the best thing you can do for your kids, not only have that conversation with them, but make sure that at a very young age you're instilling in your kids that their education is important and that's what is going to make them successful in life.
And so whenever your child is involved in sports or any type of other activities that the whole community can join in on, cheer for, I mean, that's something great. And that keeps you on track. You know, you have to stay up with your grades. You know, you have to attend school. Can't be getting in trouble. I think that definitely saves a lot of kids' lives.
And the ones that I see that are successful, they're involved in more things. They value school. They may not always enjoy it, but they know it's important. They're involved in sports and music and activities. And to me, that's the biggest key, along with knowing who your kids' friends are.
Be a parent, don't be your kid's friend. They have to be able to trust you enough that they can call you if they're in a tough situation, but they have to know that when you're telling them things, that you do it out of love. And if they can do that, they're going to set their kids up for a future in the success.
I hear a lot of people, a lot of parents say, you got to teach your kids are going to drink. That's just what they're going to do. We all did it, and it's never going to stop. And you just have to teach your kids to drink responsibly. That's what we did. That night, we said, okay, we know you're going to be drinking. Just stay. Don't get in your car. I mean, we thought that'd be the perfect solution. And we can go on now looking normal, but we're not. The pain, the memories, the guilt will never go away. And the pain never does. Michael is still, it's been almost 2 years, and he is the first thing I think about every morning, and he's the last thing I think about every night.
Having the talk isn't a 30-second thing. Having a talk goes on and is repeated multiple times through the upbringing of your child to make sure that you do everything you can to keep them safe. Because if something happens, you will look back and wish that you would have done better. And it would be comforting for the rest of your life to know that you did what you could and that you tried your best. Because if you do, you greatly reduce the chance of losing your son or daughter in one of these tragedies.